But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.
What is up, people? It's another one. Man, I've actually had an opportunity to live stream quite a bit nowadays, huh? What's up, Levi Kung Fu? How you doing? Mr. Mensa, how you doing, sir? So, I wanted to jump on and continue on with what I've been talking about. Not 100% sure if Quentin or Jerome will jump on the panel or stop through. I think they're over at Bro Sanchez's right now, but I'm not putting that on him. We didn't really get a good plan, and I had a bunch of things I had to do, so I couldn't tell him an exact time to be here. So him not being here has zero to do with whether or not he wanted to be here, because I didn't plan it out good enough. So kind of go over a review of what I've been researching lately, and kind of go from there. I will have a panel open, so if you guys wanted to jump on the panel, more than welcome to. Let me see here. So make sure everything I need is here and set up and ready to go. One of the big things I wanted to start going over, or what I wanted to do, is basically take these experiments, tests, given proofs for either side, and start really breaking down the basics of it, because honestly, I need to understand it before I can start using it as a proof or saying how it's not right. So, start learning and having a good learning experience with all this good stuff. This is what I want to do. I'm going to be probably talking about this a lot, and for good reason, obviously, but angles. So I made a observation, and I talked about it on Bro Sanchez's channel, the ISS, and basically people telling me right off the bat, it's not real, it's not there, it doesn't exist. But the problem is, something is there. We know something's there just purely on the fact that we see something going through the sky. A tracker is highly accurate that tracks it, so we know something is there. It has nothing to do with exactly what, who's there, who's lying about this and that, and is it this possible. We know for a fact something is up there. When we do the measurements and the tests, we know it's going 17,000 miles an hour. One thing we definitely know is, because of our atmosphere, something doing 17,000 miles an hour is going to do one thing. It's going to basically start destructing, self-destructing itself. It's going to start, the structure is going to become weak. It's going to start burning up. There's a dozen real factors into figuring out what's real and not real. So basically, for the next couple streams, I'll be throwing in a lot of the climate change stuff, because I'm going to talk about that tonight as well. And mainly, what is the difference between real truth and believed truth? Because regardless of who you are, we all do it. We all are guilty of it. I don't even think we could help it if we really wanted to. The realization that a lot of the things that we know and a lot of the things that we debate and talk about are obviously believed truths. There are definitely exceptions. There are definitely times where a certain topic comes up and that's your profession, or you've researched something so extensively you have a good understanding of it. That is the real truth. When you get to a real truth, you've already taken all that stuff that muddies it up, throw it out. You realize that your fact or proof that you're giving to prove something merely is a fraction of the actual part, of what's going on. And you kind of have to realize that that can't be just a globe proof. That can't be just a flat earth proof. Because most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, both sides are using something and blowing it up to be the proof. And it's really not. 100% right, Peanuts. The real truth should upset you, depending on what you're talking about. Can't say all science is fake. Can't do it, because even what you're trying to figure out, you're still having to use some bit of their science to give you the idea that the narrative someone's giving us isn't true. That's why I've always had an issue with, people saying space isn't real, because I mean, there's a lot of things that can be factored in and show bits and pieces of that proof. When you put them all together, it gives you real truth. Unfortunately, NASA has to make money. They have to promote what they're doing. And that's where I think selling space really came in. And it's something that I don't think they'll ever change. I don't think it's anything. Or no, I definitely think it's something that we need to be talked. That needs to be talked about. I'm sorry, because yesterday on the live stream I asked a question, and I think this question goes out for anybody. If what the topic is about, if the government or any agencies were more transparent about it, would it lessen the conspiracy? Would it not be so bad? So I mean, it's a huge toss up to what facts are, what are, the different evidences that we're trying to promote. I think we all need to be a little bit more critical of what we're showing, a little bit more critical on what we're saying that claims. You know what I mean? Now, for instance, like I have on the screen, we can use, you can calculate all the angles of this triangle, and between two observers, we can calculate how high up the plane is, how fast the plane is going. It's the same thing with the ISS. Obviously, it's a little bit more fine tuning to figure out how to do it, but it's the same thing, and we know it can be done because any two of us, can go outside on a clear sky day and do this test, and ultimately realize that, hey, this method of science works. Okay, so if that works, then all science isn't lying. All science isn't wrong. The one thing I noticed and I talked about a lot is the holes that the globe had when I became a flat earther was one of the main reasons why I did. And it took me a long time to realize just because something has a hole or unanswered phenomenons that are going on doesn't mean that proves all. You shouldn't be able to go, we can't go to space. Why? Because they said we can't get out of that Van Allen belts. Okay, well, space is inside those Van Allen belts. So what makes you believe we can't get into space. You're not going to get real truth. You're not going to get that answer. Impossible. They look like rockets look like they're flying horizontal. Okay, how far? I don't know. Okay, well, so you may believe it is, but most likely it's not. Well, how do you know? Well, has anybody reported seeing these rockets over and over and over again crash, or in a downward trajectory? No, I've never heard that the downward trajectory one. The the extent of what's being said is they look like they're going horizontal, not into space. Why don't they go straight up? Well, I mean, there are a lot of explanations for that. And imagine being in a car on a drag strip, and at the end of that drag strip, you have to make a right-hand turn. What's going to happen? Going to have to slow down to make that turn without wearing tires down, without having to drift or burn a bunch of fuel doing that. Well, it's kind of the same thing with a rocket. You're going to burn a lot more fuel getting it into, into orbit. It's going to take a lot more fuel for it to get back to the speed it needs to be to do, its orbit. But the reality of it is, there is 100% provable facts and evidence for why a rocket doesn't just go straight up. They literally need to follow the curve to make sure they don't go too fast. Make sure they go fast, and just fast enough to leave Earth's atmosphere and still be in orbit. Which people that are far smarter than me, way smarter than me, sit in a little room and punch in their little calculators and figure that out. If it was something simple, it's like, yeah, we here's the nuke one is more believable than not being able to, go to space, ISS, other, rockets and probes. Like, the realization is okay, maybe they figured out a way to pack more power. Well, yeah, they did. It's nukes. It's nuclear, but it is an argument to say, well, how do you know they don't have something more explosive that they're calling nukes? Well, you know what? I can't prove differently. A lot more explosive is going to give you the same punch as a small nuclear one. So I mean, it's not like an impossible feat to make a large explosion. But you see the difference there? So let me get in this chat real quick, see what's up, guys. What's up, JJ? You talking? Talking yet? Nope. What's up, Measle? How you doing? What's up to you, Kung Fu? What's up, Tammy? Welcome, welcome. Let me see, Mr. Menza, how you doing? All right, so people gotta just hang out in the back. No worries. So, like I said, this could turn into a good conversation. I don't even want to call it a debate because realistically, uh, who really wants to sit and listen to a debate? We want to hear people talk about what they believe and try to get as close to the truth as we possibly can. And I may have sounded a little heated when I was calling out Quentin and Jerome, and I'm not gonna lie, I was. I don't really, like being called, you know, cowards and agents and all that kind of stuff. Especially because, obviously, just like I was explaining, there's a difference between real truth and believed truth. And, anybody that hates can believe that truth all they want until they show me some real stuff, just words. So we're going to go ahead and take this picture off for right now and get back to that. But more importantly, definitely want to let everyone know, probably be on Soundly's. I believe Soundly's going to have a live stream, and I'll be talking to him, I think, next week. pretty sure I'm gonna try to get him to do it in the middle of the week, just because that'd be easier for me. So that should be pretty cool. Um, Actually, there's quite a few other live streams I'm gonna be going on in the next week or two. Hopefully, hopefully I can get all the stuff that I've been wanting to talk about out. Um, I got into a conversation yesterday. I tried to start getting into it. I think we were all on a little tangent towards the end of the live stream, but I wanted to definitely get back into how the climate change and the solutions they have for it. Because again, and I've definitely thought about how to word these things. I definitely believe we need to understand geoengineering on a long term and its effects more before we just think about the quick solution. One of the big issues that I have, and I guess I kind of am going to assign bias to it, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to only focus on the good stuff and not the bad, but vice versa. Um, as in, for the good of SRM, solar radiation management, it's quick. We will see the effects of it right away. Um, Let me also do this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. Um, there we go. And I was gonna put it in the description, but I also realized that if I did that, once we start getting in a conversation, it's kind of hard to pay attention to the panel, and it gets frustrating having to look at the page and all of a sudden randomly I got three more people there. So if I do it this way, it'll only really happen in little droves, and it'll make things easier. What's up, Cynics? How you doing, my friend? Uh, Kind of just going over, little tidbit things. Nothing hard hitting. Nothing that it's gonna require an hour worth of listening. Just hanging out. But back to what I was saying. We hear all these things on the media, and I mean, if you believe the media is honest, if you believe the media is gonna give us real news, then I guess you're kind of still living under a huge rock. But at the same time, we also still need to watch it, because those are the times, I believe, when you start getting these weird stories that don't make sense, that the government's doing something that they don't want us to notice. And a lot of people talk about these things, and I think that is probably the most important, mainly because it's gonna, the more ears that hear it, the more research hopefully that's being done with it, and then even better than that, uh, the right ears hearing it, and hopefully something being done to change it. Let's see here. I'm trying to pop up another link I wanted to show you guys. Forget, I can't find it. I'll try to look for it in a minute. But with SRM, solar radiation management, like I said, it's a real yeah, Tammy, it's kind of just like it's I guess, yeah. I've never really heard of a messy messenger. I'm guessing kind of like Facebook Messenger, but it's audio, video, and you can have a group chat rather than just having to be in the text chat. Um, I'm trying to get a few people on here that I know wanted to. I think Bro Sanchez is still on, so that they're probably gonna be over there. Which hey, no big deal. See something real quick. Boy is on here right now, so I'm gonna see if he wants to jump on. Not too busy. Okay, so what I was saying about solar radiation management, we know it's gonna work quick. If we're using it, it is because they feel we need a very quick method of controlling the climate. The problem is that they're doing it under the guides that basically, well, it worked when a volcano erupted. For those of you who don't know, in 1991, a volcano erupted, and it actually did enough damage that basically what happened is the climate, or the Earth, ended up cooling 1.5 degree, or I'm sorry, half a degree, for a short period of time. Water levels seceded. All right, now I got a call. See who this is. It's kind of weird that I hear it because normally it should be someone just popping in here. I think it's. Ah. All right, let me see if my Hangout is still here because for some odd reason it is calling, which usually only happens when it's been ended, but I don't think anyone's in this. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so like I was saying, it's a quick solution, and uh, the reason that it's to me dangerous is that we don't know the side effects. We don't know what the climate and the ecology will do, the wildlife will do 10, 15, 20 years from now. It could be completely the opposite of what they thought would happen. It could essentially kill a lot of wild animals. One of the big issues that I saw. Oh shit! What up, Dre? How you doing, sir? Can you hear me? All right, dropped out. Okay, I gotta get my. Pretty sure it's my mic settings because yesterday that happened where I thought everyone could hear me, but then I go over to my mic settings at the Hangout and basically everything's just all messed up. So when he comes back in, hopefully he'll be able to hear me. Okay, so there he is. What up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, bro?
What up, man? How you been? It's been a minute, huh?
Yeah, it's been a couple minutes. About 30, 40 minutes.
So how's the man cave? That done yet?
No, it ain't done. I was just down there fucking around. No, it ain't done yet. I'm still fucking around with it. Controlling the water.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because I
I just
remember
finished.
that's going like what,
I just
two,
finished.
three different directions?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, what I've been doing is I did all the cement work and shit and whatever else around it, and then so like when I was in the experimental stages, the water flows a little bit different. I mean, for the most part, I know where it's gonna go, but so basically, what I just did was the cement work, and then I hooked up the water, and then I just turned it on and just checked it out. Actually, I just made a little video of it and shit. I ain't turning it on now though, but I'll send you the fuck. Matter of fact, let me see if I can. I don't think I can send it through here. How the fuck I do that?
uh, the only thing I could think of is share it, or you'd have to like send it to my email, which is man, that's such a pain in the ass having to like use Google Drive. I freaking can't stand it.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't have to do that. I
It's on
just
your
I just don't.
it's on your computer, right?
No, I'm on my phone.
If you can get to the video, you'd share it, but I don't know. I don't remember how to share it on the Hangout with a phone.
Look, I know what I can do. I just got to figure it out because I'm fucking high right now, so I can't really. I can't. I ain't thinking too fucking clear.
You and me both.
Yeah, see, I just started smoking again, like literally, probably like a week ago from 3 months. So I ain't smoked in 3 months. So I gotta
Yeah.
that fucking O is gonna last me for like 4 months.
Fuck yeah. Well,
Easy.
that's what I like doing. I like taking long breaks. Then you take a hit, and you're like, okay, yep, there it is. Welcome back.
Yeah. Oh, look, you know what? Here, boom. I think I can do it like this. I'm gonna see if this works. This it's just a little fucking yo. It's coming along good though. But see, I took like back in I guess it was October. No, it had to be August, like around the end of August, right when we went to Florida. I didn't come down here for like 3 months, you know what I mean? So after we went on our vacation, I literally took like 3 months and I didn't come down here at all. So I kind of lost a little bit of time with that, but I needed a fucking break from it anyway, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you don't wanna mess something up
Yeah,
just
but
for being in it all the time.
well, yeah, well, it's not that I was gonna mess it up, but it's sometimes you just, it's a lot of fucking work, man. I did the framing, I did the subfloor, I did the electric, I did the sheetrock, spackle, tape. I did a lot of shit. The only thing I gotta do is I still got some columns I gotta stone. And like I said, finish getting that water under control. Like it's basically for the most part it's under control, but it's a few spots that splash, and I want to get rid of the splashes. You know what I mean? So the water ain't going all over the place. But it's coming along good though, man.
Cool,
It's coming
cool.
along good.
So,
Yeah, I was about to say check the. I just sent the video to. I just sent the video to you. I don't know.
okay. Do the mail or
It's
the hangout?
it's under a different through the hangout. It's under a
Okay.
different. It's under your other Sean G because we got like a couple of these shits on here.
On the
But that
screen.
just
Okay.
kind of. Do you see it?
Well, I don't, my hangout is different than the screen we're on right now. So I gotta load it up
Well,
and
yeah,
wait for it to come on here.
yeah. So only thing I can tell you though, like if you go into the hangouts, like I got like when it gives me the option to send a picture, it gives me a choice of like 2 or 3 Sean G's, and I
Oh,
just
okay.
clicked on your picture
Yeah, yeah.
and sent it that way. So
Let's see. Oh, it just closed on me. Damn it. I'm trying to get to it right now.
it's got to be in there somewhere. I just ain't too familiar with how shit works. You know what I mean? So
Oh no, no, for real.
plus I'm
Fucking.
high over.
I, it's either I can upload it to YouTube or it sits in a folder because I can't send it to people.
Yeah,
Not
but
quite
yeah, I
there.
mean, I just been
It's easy.
I ain't really been doing much. I mean, other than, like I said, I just got back down in here recently, not too long ago. But I mean, other than that, I ain't really been doing too much lately.
So kind of gave you the big news on flat Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
you a baller again.
I'm a truther who realizes it's not flat. The big difference.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how you come to that conclusion, but I hear you.
Just man, just breaking things down doesn't make sense. There's a lot.
Yeah,
So, but the big thing is, and honest, this is the problem. There's a lot of flat earthers that are out there now that are just talking crap, and it muddies the water.
well, I mean, there's a lot of that on both sides, but
Oh, 100%, 100%. I'd be
I
a
just
fool to
can't.
say different.
I just can't. I mean, I ain't gonna front though. To me, it's kind of. I'm like, I don't see how the hell you go that way though. Like back to being a believer of the globe. That shit just boggles my mind.
Okay, so can I give you this is like the new example. I'll give you an example. So, the Terminator line? Kind of,
Yeah,
we know half the globe and half the globe is always, or I'm sorry, half of Earth is either dark or lit by the sun, right?
according to what they claim. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can test that. Someone in the UK can be like, "Hey, it's sunset," and I'm like, "Hey, on the West Coast, it's sun's rising right now." So, we can have an area that we know is exactly how where this line is. But when you pop up like a flat Earth idea of a map, I'm not gonna call it your guys' model because I know how that feels. um, you can't produce the same light from the sun on half of Earth. It doesn't work. But I mean, it works as a globe.
how do you even get half of the globe to be lit up with this? See, this is like one of the major problems I have with that whole idea of the Terminator line in the first place. Because if you actually observe a sunrise, which I'm sure you have, but I don't know how how well you like really pay attention to it. But if you ever look at a sunrise, the light that's coming up with that sun, it follows a arched shape, just basically like, okay, the sun is round and it's projecting light in a radius sort of fashion. So when you look at the sun and then you look, we'll say 20 degrees to the left of the sun, and then you look another 20 or 30 degrees to the right of the sun, you see the limits of that light. And then everywhere behind that, from those 2 points to the left and the right, is dark. So the moment that that sun comes up above that horizon, that light should be spread across from left to right evenly. If that Terminator line was like legit, as far as it lighting up half the Earth at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like when you watch the sun come up, you don't that light doesn't stretch from left to right as far as the eye can see as it should. It actually comes up in an arched fashion.
But shouldn't you see, like, if I go outside in the morning, because I live in the mountains, so this is actually a perfect example of what I'm thinking. When the sun comes up, you see it's coming up. You don't see the sun yet, but you see the sky start to turn orange, red, or wherever, depending on where
Right,
you live.
right.
If it was coming at us rather than from basically around a corner, I would think that behind me couldn't be dark still, and that's what we see. You can look you can look you
Well,
can look east and see the sky start lighting up because the sun's coming up, and you look west and it's be dark out in the distance, almost like something's blocking it.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying, but just do you see the way that light scatters the moment that it comes, the actual sun, not the light that you see before the sun, the moment that you actually see the sun above the horizon, that light technically should be at your zenith instantly. So basically, every point that you look at from the sun and to the left and the right of that sun, including above your head, should be fully illuminated. That's what the Terminator line is. The moment that that sun comes above that horizon, everything that is in the path of that sun should be fully illuminated.
But that's what happened.
No, that is not what happens when that sun comes up over the horizon. You can look directly above your head, and odds are it's either slightly lit or still dark, very dim. And then if you look to, like, for instance, say if you're looking at a clock and the sun rises at 12 o'clock, by the time you turn your head to look at like 8 o'clock, and when you turn your head and look at 4 o'clock, it's still pitch black.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. You should
Now,
see
when
you should
you
watch the Terminator line creep past you, basically.
well, see, but that's the thing is that you can't really watch the Terminator line creep past you because it's the way that the light is diffused. It's a gradual sort of dissipation of light. It's not a stark contrast, a difference of dark and light like they show you on the Terminator line. Like, so for instance, if they show you the Terminator line from space, it might look like a sharp change from light to dark. But then, on all actuality, when you're on the ground, it's going to be obviously a lot more of a gradual change. It's not going to be so stark. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that Terminator line is at the zenith of the light source, or I should say, the light source is causing the illuminated portion of Earth, that illuminated portion should be directly above your zenith, or when you look directly above, just because you can see that sun above the horizon, directly above your head should be fully illuminated.
Okay, I see what you're All right, okay. Well,
And it's not like that. When you look at that sunrise first thing in the morning, the light takes on like the shape of a rainbow. It curves just like the sun curves. That Terminator line to me is complete bullshit. Not only that, but think about it. If the sun was where they claim it is, why would a country the size of the United States, which is 3,000 miles from left to right or from west to east, it's 3,000 miles. So for the United States to have 3 or 4 different time zones, whatever it is, I think it's 4.
But see, to me,
Right.
but time zones that aren't real. The only real time would be what it's called the solar time. So it's like solar noon. I think that could be the only real, because that's like it doesn't work mainly because like here in California,
Well, listen.
we do the time zones.
Wait. Well, hold on. Listen, but it doesn't matter because I think time zones are pointless. But I'm just saying, even if you were to consider something like time zones, how they say that it can't be high noon at 2 places at one time, which is true. But the United States only being 3,000 miles from the West Coast to the East Coast, that alone suggests, because we have 4 time zones, isn't it?
Yeah. In the United States,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Now, if the sun is as far away as it is, and it's casting parallel light like they claim, how can a small landmass 3,000 miles in distance have 4 different time zones without that sun being closer and a lot smaller?
I don't know how to. I don't think I understood what you're saying.
So all right, so look at it like this. In a globe model, the sun would be 93 million miles away. The Earth would be 24,000 miles in circumference. So 12,000 miles of the Earth has to be illuminated at all times.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, if 12,000 miles is illuminated at all times, why does a small landmass like the United States, which is 3,000 miles from left to right, what's the need in that landmass having 4 time zones?
Well, that'd be
Over the
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
you
ahead.
see what I'm saying?
But see
No,
that.
but I'm saying, but
See, okay, no, I see exactly what you're saying. It really doesn't make real sense, but at the same time, it's as stupid as it sounds. I think it's like so everyone feels like they have the equal amount of a
no.
day. That
No,
could be the only reason I can think of it.
it's because they, like they claim, and it is sunrise because it's actually the sun that's moving. It's not the Earth that's moving. So the sun comes up on the east first because it rises in the east. So naturally, we're going to see it in New Jersey before you're going to see it in California. But in all actuality, if the sun was 93 million miles away, the moment that sun is visible in New Jersey, it should automatically be daylight in California. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. But
If
what
if
would
the
happen?
if the
But
sun if the sun is illuminating 12,000 miles worth of a 24,000 mile circumference ball. So basically, that's 12,000 miles from left to right. If it's illuminating that much of the Earth at one time, why is it not simultaneously daylight in New Jersey as it is in California? That's a major That's a major problem
because
for
it's
a
still
globe.
kind of going. Well, the only thing I can think of is because it's still coming around that quote unquote bend. Like it's still coming around the
No, but
corner
yeah,
almost.
yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but think about the scale and the size and the way that this light is supposed to come parallel for this sun that's 93 million miles away. The the United States is 3,000 miles. 12,000 miles of that globe is evenly illuminated at all times, right?
But it's
Half the globe,
it's
this,
evenly illuminated, but it's not equally the same. You're just not getting the exact same amount of light. If that makes
listen,
sense. Like there's good.
if the
Go ahead.
globe, if the Earth, I guess the comparison, like in real life, it would be something like a beach ball, like one of them big ass beach balls, compared to a golf ball.
Mm.
That's like the size difference of the Earth and the sun. You know, as far as like tangible items that you can kind of compare. So, if something that's 3,000 miles, however minute that would be on that little ass golf ball, is being illuminated by the size of something of a fucking beach ball, and all of that light is coming parallel off of that. There's no way possible that little old measly United States, 3,000 miles in distance from left to right, could not be illuminated evenly from the East Coast to the West Coast. That small amount of rotation that you're saying, maybe we're not, because of the way that the sun's creeping in from the east or whatever, that little bit of distance is not going to make any impact whatsoever, because that fucking sun is so big compared to the earth. The moment, matter of fact, shit, it could be fucking daylight in, let's see, what's to the east of us, Africa. So basically, according to the globe model, the moment that Africa sees daylight, we should be seeing daylight in America, because we share the same 12,000 miles of a supposedly illuminated globe. Do
We
you
do.
see what I'm
We do.
saying?
So the way I when I was looking on there, and I went to one of the little simulators. When the Terminator line, quote unquote, gets to me, the UK still has is still in is getting their sun set.
So in California, when it's getting dark for you, or when it's getting daylight for you, you're saying it's still dark in the UK.
No, it's getting dark. As I'm getting my sunrise, they're getting their sunset. I think I have a picture of it. So I can probably put it in.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I mean, how much light could it if the sun is only if it's a local sun, I don't see how it could do that because even like it has to fit. And I get I don't know how to make it fit. So if there is a way, I'd wish someone would explain it. But a local sun couldn't do that and still light half the globe or half the world. If you're saying it's flat.
Well, I mean, that can get it could get a little in depth or whatever, but it depends on how you believe, or if you even believe that the sun that we see isn't the actual sun or the physical sun, more so of a projection of it or a reflection of it somehow, in
But,
conjunction with the dome.
but see, that's brainstorming, and damn well I like it because that's where you get to build from. But at the same time,
Well, it's
it,
not necessary. It's not necessarily brainstorming. It's actual science. It gets a little complicated. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it, but it all relates to how electromagnetism interacts with light. You know what I'm saying? Is so now you got to consider magnetism, electricity, and the way that interacts with light. So it's not something that you can consider brainstorming, because it's legitimate science as far as what we know real science to be, and how we understand electromagnetism to interact with electricity and how it affects light.
But see that okay. So we got to back up because that doesn't exactly prove flat or not. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. You know what I
no,
mean? No,
no,
in a sense
no, you're
of
right. No, you're right. You're right. But it's still lens like I was saying. I don't know if you can really picture what I'm getting at here, but just the simple fact that if 12, we'll just say half of the globe, which obviously is 12,000. We'll use 12,000 miles because we're talking about a 24,000 mile circumference. So half of that to be illuminated at all times, according to this model that they show us, would be 12,000 miles. And for a small landmass like the United States or any other landmass for that matter to need four time zones because that sun can't illuminate the East Coast simultaneously as it does the West Coast.
but
That in itself is a major problem for
no, but see,
that
here's the
for that
thing.
globe.
It doesn't because that's like saying it's like saying it. We all do get the same amount of daytime and nighttime as everyone else because of the time zone, but that's not how it is. Like in
Well, no, it's not about the
Arizona.
amount.
Go ahead.
No, it's not about the amount of time that we get. It's about the time that it occurs.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, that's like okay, so solar noon is your own solar noon. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm not saying I know you know what solar noon is. Solar noon is your location from where you are, the sun being right above you. It noon,
Right,
the
at the zenith.
actual noon.
That's
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
high noon, yes.
Yes. Um, but each time zone doesn't get the same zenith every time. It's
Right.
different times of the
And
day.
yeah, now see now like what I'm trying to get you to see about that is if in fact the sun was 93 million miles away casting parallel light rays on earth as it rotates on its axis, there would be no need for a landmass that's 3,000 miles in lineal feet from left to right to need four time zones because those four different areas can't experience high noon at the same time. Now, if the zenith, meaning the sun is directly above your head, even if, say, in Jersey, I was experiencing a so called high noon or solar noon, it would still be completely illuminated, fully illuminated, and maybe not exactly a perfect solar high noon for the West Coast, but it'd be so damn close that there would be no need for three time zones in between me and them. You see what I'm saying? It's like there's and we know for a fact that you can't experience high noon in Jersey as the same time as California. So we know that's a fact. That's not something that's under speculation. We know that that can't occur. I know that I can't have same the high noon here in Jersey as somebody in say
Yeah, but see,
Kansas,
but
which is
you're answering why we have time zones though. Because if noon is
yeah,
in
but
Jersey, obviously California is not going to have the same noon. The only possible way to
right,
get as
right,
close as you
right.
can is having the time zones.
Yeah, but see, no, that just goes to further kind of like prove the fact that that's bullshit because there would be no need for the time zones. The reason why we have the time zones is because the sun or what we perceive to be the sun is something that's a lot lower in the sky, closer to us as far as the surface that we live on, and it comes and goes. It's not because we're rotating around a sun 93 million miles away from us. That's why we have time zones.
But see, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so with New Jersey has a new, well, it's all to be able to sync. It's also that everyone can be working at the same time. If we just went, if we
No.
didn't, no, because if we didn't have time zones and we all use solar, or, our location's solar noon, it would be everyone we would have noon random
It's
different times.
impossible. No, it's impossible. You can't. You have to have your solar noon or your high noon has to be when the sun comes above you and it's at your zenith. That's the only way you can experience high noon.
Yeah, so 100 miles down the road, it would be noon. What, 10 minutes later? Then
Yeah,
you would literally
but this
have
is
690 time zones.
no. See,
Every
but what you don't. But this is the part you got to kind of understand though. What the sun's moving across the sky in degrees, so it has to move so many degrees before it starts to change the strength of sun that's projected to a particular location. So that sun, like you said, 100 miles down the road. Okay, so to get that minute of a change in time, that sun might have to move literally like 1,000 miles just for its intensity according to its angular, projection, how much energy is being perceived at that particular place that's being called high noon. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see
Like that.
but we do see that. That's why like the equator is hotter than California is because
No,
the
that's
distance
not
of it.
true.
But why?
No, that's not true.
And why? Why would there be a temperature change?
A temperature change from where? From California to Jersey?
No, well that yeah that, but mainly the equator in California because the
Well,
equator we know around the equator is the hottest place around, and we know that's because
yeah.
it's closest to the sun.
Okay, so then, like, if that, and when you look at that on whether any type of flat map that you choose, it makes perfect sense because when the sun crosses that region, it crosses that region twice. So when it's in the Tropic of Cancer, which is in the north, when we have our summers, the sun's high in the sky. And then as it moves to the Tropic of Capricorn, it crosses the equator, it makes it to its furthest point, then it reverses track and it starts to move back to the Tropic of Cancer. It crosses the equator, it moves to the Tropic of Cancer. We experience summer, and then it moves away. So that's the reason why the equator is the warmest place. And if you look at that on a globe model, the way that the globe is supposed to be tilted at like 23.4 degrees or whatever it is, that equator being the warmest part around the middle of the globe wouldn't even match up because of the tilt.
Well, the tilt's not. Well, that's the thing because it's a ball. No, no, because it's a ball.
That
The pole would be still further from where the center is in relation to where the sun is.
but it has nothing to do with the equator though. Now just think of your globe but 90 degrees with no tilt and it's spinning the way that they say. Okay, now your equator would be the hottest region according to that model. But the moment that you tilt that globe and that that band that they claim is the equator stays where it is and it doesn't change to be parallel with that sun anymore, it blows that shit out the water, dog. Like I don't, I gotta send you a picture for this one?
Yes. Uh, yeah, no, seriously, because what
And
I'm
think about
seeing it.
this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna okay. Just think like I said. Just imagine the globe. Don't put Africa on like the 45-degree tilt or whatever that you see it. Stand it straight up and down. That means it's at 90 degrees. Take away the tilt, right?
Hmm.
Now imagine that rotating the way that they claim it does and also orbiting the sun.
Well,
Now they
okay,
say
hang
the
on.
equator
So
is
it
the
doesn't tilt. It's always at that tilt. It's just when you get around. So half the year, the south because so imagine that ball with the poles. Now tip it 23 degrees, and if you just kind of just go around in a circle, around an object, you'll see how the southern part of that ball would be closer to the center, your center object, half the time, and then it'll be further away the other half of the time. Because I always thought the same thing. Every year, the Earth tilted, but when it's explained to me and they show me a diagram of how it works, you see how the Earth tilt staying the same can still give us the two drastic changes in seasons.
Yeah, but the tilt changes where the equator would be. If the globe was at 90 degrees, then yeah, the equator would be, according to the globe model, the equator would be the warm part that they claim. Now, the moment that you change that and put it on that 23-degree angle, the warm region that they call the equator stays the same. That doesn't change, but yet it's tilted toward the sun.
Well,
I just found,
I could show you. My bad.
just look at this.
Let me share the.
Did you even see the video? Did that work?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't play because it was the inside part. I was gonna
Oh,
wait
okay,
until
no,
we
no. I
we
just want to
watched.
make sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to make sure. I want to make sure it worked because I'm gonna send you this the same way.
Okay. Let me get back over there because I'm trying to find a like a simulator so I can like it's easier for me to explain what I'm trying to come say, but I can't find one.
Oh, I,
So
I,
I'm gonna use
I
like a
know
little
I
paint
know
thing.
I know what you're trying to mean. Trust me, I know what you're trying to mean. I know exactly what you're trying to mean.
But that's the thing.
But it's
It
like,
makes it's what makes it actually makes sense to me. Yeah, I'll share my screen.
I, I
Uh,
mean, I don't know how it makes sense. See, and then like another major problem, like for instance, they'll say, like, that they say that our orbit around the sun is elliptical, so it's closer on one end than it is on the other. So, for instance, like, I think it's around, I don't know, sometime in July or something. The Earth is like 94 million miles away from the sun, and it's summertime. But then on the flip side, it'll be like 91 million miles from the sun when it's on the opposite side, and that's actually closer to the sun, but it's winter.
but okay, hang on. So
like, like really?
okay,
Oh,
so
fucking serious?
I put I have it shared up on the screen. Can you see the watch page, or you can only see the hangout?
The only thing I could see is like your icon.
Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna make it so I can share what I'm doing on there too, because keep forgetting about that. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. Where is it? Guess I would have to. You should be able to see it on the screen. Tell me to present. There it is. All right. Can you see you should be looking at my OBS right now.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right, cool. So put it on studio. Take studio mode off so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so make a little circle real quick. Oops, that's not a circle. So, all right, perfect. That, and we'll make little poles for it, and make another one, and we'll call this the sun. It's obviously huge. So, gotta erase it, otherwise it'll irritate me this whole time. So when we're talking about the tilt, it's not the Earth tilting, or this line. Actually, I kind of needed a small sun, so it would actually.
Sure, it is. What do you mean it's not the Earth tilting? The Earth is on the axis supposedly.
Okay, so this little yellow one right there, ignore it. Or ignore the big one, I mean. And ignore the size. Obviously the sun is bigger. It's just to make a point.
All I see is a circle with a line through it.
Alright, you should see in a second at least see me draw, because I think there's a lag in it for the hangout as well.
Well, I'm just saying if there might be something yellow. I can't see yellow because it's small, so you
Oh,
might want to use something
okay, yeah, we'll do that.
different.
I'll use red. Yeah, I'll fill it in. I'll make life easier for you. There we go, watch. And I'll do this.
I can see a red oval.
Okay, perfect. And I gotta move it a little closer. Okay, so the red is the sun. It's its location, not its actual size.
Okay.
Gotta see if I can this move. This is what I didn't want to happen. Hang on one second. God, every time I try to do this, it always works when. Can I make that one move again? I hate this. So what I'll do is this. I'm gonna go ahead and erase the crap out of this.
Dude, you're better off. You're
Okay, here we go.
better off on your camera and draw on that shit.
That's what I'm gonna do. I figured it out. I just need to not finish it. Okay, so right now, the sun obviously is on that side. See how the what would be quote unquote the North Pole is tilted that way, which would be the northern
You're breaking
hemisphere's.
up.
Oh crap! All right, so basically, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now where the red circle is the sun, and this would be depict the northern hemisphere's summer right now. Now, without even
Mm-hmm.
moving the Earth and where the poles are, if I do this and put it on that side, now you're looking at the southern hemisphere having their summer, and that's just being on whatever side of of the sun there you are.
Okay. Now, just with that alone, how can you explain seeing the same stars that we see in winter and that we see in summer? Because that's basically what you're explaining right now, winter and summer. Why do both of those hemispheres see if they're on the opposite side
Mm, I don't I don't know.
and they're
I
looking
honestly I
in
couldn't answer that.
completely different?
I have no idea. I don't know enough. I barely know a few stars, let alone enough
You see what I'm
stars
saying?
to. But see, that's the thing. I can't say that that's a proof for me. I don't know enough stars to
You're
pick.
breaking up. I didn't hear a word you said.
Let me close some windows real quick. Let's see.
Well, no, I mean, listen, that's just you're breaking up, but listen, that's common sense. Now, look where the sun originally was when the northern hemisphere was having summer, right?
Hmm?
Now the picture that's up there, the northern hemisphere is having winter,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm?
Because it's on the opposite side of the sun.
Yes.
Okay, so how can they see the same stars in their winter and their summertime that they see in their wintertime?
I
They're on
I
two
can
different sides of the
I
sun.
literally can look at it because I don't know, barely know when and where what stars would be and it shouldn't be. So
But wait.
no, I
Hold
mean,
on,
I'm
back up
saying I
because
can't say you're right because I don't know. But
no, just no, I am right. But think about it. If you're on the opposite side of the sun, how could you possibly see the same stars? It has nothing to do with the cycles and the patterns and all that shit. Is completely totally irrelevant. How can you possibly see the same stars if you're in the northern or the southern hemisphere? If when I was on my, as a northerner, if I was in my summer, I was on the opposite side of the sun. And now the way that it's showing, I'm in my winter. I'm on a completely different opposite side of the sun, but I see the same stars.
I'll
How
look.
is that? How could that even be possible?
Okay, if just in the context of what you're saying, it can't be. There should be definitely be a whole set of stars in a different area that you shouldn't be able to see year round. I mean, the ones above, north, above the North Pole and the South and the Southern Pole, I would think those you could definitely see year round because obviously they're up there. But anything in your horizontal view should not, because the sun, like you're saying, the sun, you're looking at a whole different
Okay,
landscape,
now
basically.
now do this for me if you can. Now take another line. How you got that? The line showing the axis of Earth.
Hmm.
All right, now make like a orange line or something that goes perpendicular and intersects that.
Okay. So the other,
So
so the
cut that into cut that into four. Make that, instead of half a pie, make it four slices.
okay, like
So
that.
basically, put another line 90 degrees in the center and make a cross.
Okay, there you go.
Tilt it just a little bit more if you can rotate it, like the left end up and the right end down, and make it more of a 90-degree thing. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
Hang on, I gotta do it again. All right, here we go. Like that.
If not, it'll work the way it was. I
I
don't
can
see
I can
shit
move it
now.
now.
Okay, that's cool. Now it'll work still.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, now that line that you just put there,
Hmm.
that's the equator.
No,
Yes.
no. This is
Yes.
where the equator would be, right here.
Yes.
This would be,
Parallel right through the middle,
yeah, but it's
like a
not.
level line.
It's not definitely not. Well, see, okay, and in that case, we
Right
need
there.
my. That's not 23 degrees. That's a lot more than 23 degrees. But
Listen, but that's what they show the equator is. Put that line back where you had it, level.
level,
Yeah. From left to right, the green line, if that's what that is.
yeah, that's level right there.
Okay, so now this is what they're saying the equator is on the current globe model, even at the 23 degrees.
No way.
Yes, they are. That's why I sent you that meme to show you that that doesn't match up with the temperature data of the actual equator. Because the actual equator, the way that they have it set up, is now turn that green line 90 degrees, make it perpendicular to intersect with the black line, which is the axis.
So essentially like that.
Okay. Basically, that's close enough. On the globe model, they're telling you that that's your equator, but when you look at it compared to the sun, it doesn't match up with the temperature data because it's still tilted on that 23-degree uh, angle. And that's exactly why I sent you that meme, so you could see how that's fucked up. And it'll you'll be able to see it better than I can explain it to you because it's got a visual to go along with it.
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. I see it.
And when you look at and that comes from actual temperature data. And when you look at that according to a flat map, it works perfectly with the sun crossing what we call the equator twice a year. And that's why it's the warmest place, because it gets so much exposure,
One
because it
second.
gets crossed twice a year.
See, but all right, let me pull up your image real quick.
Oh, that's good the way you got it there. That was bigger.
Well, I got to make it so on YouTube because they're not seeing the hangout over there. All right, there you go.
Where are you live?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were fucking live,
No,
man.
no,
Get the fuck out of here.
you're high. That's the problem.
Nah, seriously, are you live for
Yeah,
real?
yeah. You didn't hear me talking about people in the chat?
I have no idea what the fuck you talk about. I didn't know you were live.
Yeah, because that's why earlier I was like, "Are you Are you just on your phone on the Hangout, or are you watching the live page, or the watch
Oh
page?"
yeah, see that I was wondering why you said that. I mean I don't know. I didn't know you were fucking live though.
Oh, my bad.
Whatever. I mean I don't give a fuck. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah, I don't see. Yeah, you didn't. You weren't like, "Yeah, I killed this dude." And
uh, I don't talk about my bodies, yo. I just leave that shit, whatever. I ain't gonna kill a motherfucker and then tell somebody and shit.
okay, so you can see your image, right?
I can't see shit right now. Hold on.
It may be small. Oh no, because you're on the Hangout. Okay, I see.
Okay, yeah, no, I can see it now. It's small though. I can see it though.
I don't know where the hell, like the Hangout. I can't find. I'm on it, but I can't find it. Where is it? See, it should be able to present to everyone. Oh, there it goes. It should all of a sudden gotten big. Hopefully, but
Yeah, I can see it.
yeah. So I'm looking at it.
Okay, now boom, I can see enough of it to just kind of explain it right here, like at the very top.
Hmm?
I mean, you can see it. I don't think I got to explain it to you.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
okay. See, I
do
see.
you understand? Do you understand the problem with what they call the equator on the globe model?
But see, which one is correct? Because I'm looking at one that's tilted, but
Okay,
what? But there's
okay.
one
So
that's not.
listen, the one that's tilted, that's showing you the actual tilt of Earth.
Oh, okay, okay. Instead of not
Okay,
showing it.
now there's two images at the top. The first one that's tilted is showing you the supposed actual tilt of Earth. The one that's to the right of that is showing you that that climate or that zone that they call the
Oh,
equator only
okay.
works when the globe is 90 degrees. The moment that you turn it to that 23-degree tilt, there's no way in the world that that thing that they call the equator could match up on the globe. You see
Uh,
what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying now. Okay, now it makes sense.
Right.
Okay, with that
That
tilt,
that's
then
a
we should
that's a
see
major
that tilt.
problem.
We should see that tilt in the equator.
Reflected in the equator. Absolutely.
Okay, so because it's not flat.
Absolutely.
I see what you're saying.
And
That's a
like
good
I
question.
said, that shit's based off of actual temperature data.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's and like one of the other things I was saying, like where you have a major problem with how the globe is set up or whatever. If you look at the orbit of Earth around the sun, it's around July, sometime in July, the sun or the Earth will be 94 million miles away from the sun, and it's July, and then it'll be on the opposite side of the sun. It'll only be 91 million miles away from the sun, but yet it's wintertime. How can how can the Earth be experiencing wintertime on the side facing the sun, and it's closer to the sun by like 3 to 4,000 miles?
That's a damn good question.
Hello. Hello.
What's up,
I've been sent the
Gorgonzola?
link.
What?
Hello,
I just really want to clear something up.
whoever this is.
It's one of the
I really want to clear something up.
It's one of the
This is my
smart.
pet
Hang
peeve.
on, hang on,
People
hang on,
doing
hang on,
this
hang on,
is
hang
just
on, hang on. It's one of the smart. The band of smart kids that are on Discord now.
Okay.
This is like ADD right here. He's a cool kid, but he gotta control. You gotta slow him down sometimes. Go ahead, Gorgonzola, whatever the hell.
okay. I'll try and
name
talk as
is.
calmly and clearly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
What you've got there is average temperature throughout the entire year. That's what that diagram is. Now, during summer or winter, that part is tilted towards the sun. So the northern hemisphere and northern hemisphere summer will be tilted towards the sun, and it will be warmer. But this isn't, but the diagram you're showing here isn't of it being there. This is a diagram of when it is annual temperature changes. It's kind of like trying to compare something.
Look, first of all, let me say this. Listen to me. With this globe being on the 23-degree tilt on its axis, does that put the equator perpendicular? Does that put the equator perpendicular zone through Africa, or does that put that zone on a horizontal somehow? So basically, that green zone that goes through Africa, which is considered to be like
You want me to go back to
the prime portion.
I was gonna say, you want me to go back to the sticks because I can actually move them. Because
I mean, you can.
That's what made me understand what you're saying. Because I didn't think it did that, but with the way you're explaining it and showing it with the temperature on it, I see what you're saying. If the Earth doesn't actually tilt itself, then why is the equator how it is? Without, because we look at it and we're used to seeing the equator being level, but that doesn't
absolutely it should be.
But we should see that the red zone off
should be level.
Yeah, it should be off kilt
But that's where you're getting confused. This isn't during summer or winter where you've tilted it to. This is during the entire year average.
But you should have a
that makes it even
no,
worse.
No, it doesn't. Temperatures are different. Summer and winter are different.
Correct? The reason it's red is because
the area.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The area that is red is considered to be the hottest portion because it's the closest portion to the sun.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. You're working with a sphere.
No, it isn't. You're completely wrong on that. This is one of these straw men that I see all the time. People don't understand it.
Hang on, stop.
Listen, brother.
You're saying that the equator isn't...
Let me tell... I want to tell this kid something, or whatever. If you're dealing with a sphere or a ball, the part of that ball that is furthest or closest to the sun is going to experience the hottest because it's the closest.
No,
it's the closest portion.
It's the part that's least angled to the sun.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Which would be the equator.
The hottest.
You're wrong. Because if that was the case,
you're fucking nuts.
Okay. Can I just give a thought experiment, please, so I can explain where I'm coming from?
You need to hear this. Hang on. You're saying that the equator isn't the closest area to the sun, or have the most direct angle to it. You're saying that then that means,
absolutely it does.
That means that red zone that we're looking at should either be up more or down more. But
this is annual temperature.
It doesn't matter if it's an annual temperature or a daily temperature.
It matters everything.
What does annual mean?
Annual means over the entire year.
Okay. Over the entire year, the Earth goes around the sun, or if you want to go the other way, and say the sun goes around.
So it will average out, tilting half of the time one way and half of the time the other way.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's what he's saying. The problem is the one on the left, the top left, does not depict an equator that should be there. We shouldn't see the equator like that. The equator should have leveled itself out if the sun's rays are parallel.
Because you tilted it artificially.
The Earth is tilted. So regardless of how
it's tilted artificially. So, let's get this. Can I please give an example? You tilt something one way, one amount. You tilt it the other way, the same amount. Now you average them together and then tilt it one way. That's what you're doing.
What?
So what did you expect? So you get an average of all the tilts, and then you tilt it one way. It's not going to be representative of the entire thing.
So what should that red line look like? To the red area? Because this is one of the issues.
The red area.
Yeah.
The red area should be closer to the North Pole because it's got the least angle to the sun.
So on the left side, top left, the area that's red, facing where it says sun rays, should be higher up.
The thing is, what I'm saying is you aren't getting what the big deal about having an annual temperature rather than a seasonal temperature is. Let me get something.
Here's the thing. No matter what, there's an area, which is the equator, that still gets the most direct sunlight. And if that's the case, how is it, and I'm being honest, how is it above 90 degrees and below 90 degrees is warmer? That's what he's saying. It doesn't make sense because at 90 degrees from the sun, they're parallel from the sun to the
How
Earth.
do you think seasons are made? How do you think seasons work?
I mean, we pretty much explained that. You're literally saying that just because of what we're looking at now, it shouldn't count, but it does count. Like, you're not arguing.
I'm sorry.
What you should do is you should get an actual graph representing
I had to
what
take
you
a
get
piss.
when you tilt the Earth rather than the average of all the tilts and then tilting that average.
What you're failing to realize is the zone that they are calling the equator, because it's warmer, doesn't match up with the tilted globe. That's what you're not missing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you use a fucking annual temperature, a daily temperature, a weekly temperature, or fucking 100-year cycle temperature. It just will never match up.
Okay, is it warmer in summer than winter?
Depends on where you are.
No, is it warmer in summer or winter?
Depends on where you are.
If you're not going to answer that question, I guess it's not worth me hanging around.
You asked me a question, and I told you it depends on where you are. If you live in a place which is considered to be a place of the equator or in the tropics or something like that, you're not going to have a drastic or even a subtle change in temperatures from season to season. Whereas if you live in a northern latitude, obviously you're going to have a swing in temperatures that's drastic or obviously felt and noticed. Depends on where you are. What's your point?
I think he took off.
I hope he comes back, because I got some other questions for him, because he seems like he kind of knows some shit or whatever, but he seems a little cocky, and I want to ask him some shit because I want to see if he can fucking answer it.
That's what I think it is, because what he was explaining is basically telling us, don't look at this, but what we're looking at makes sense to me what you're questioning, because I'm now questioning it. Because when you look at it, no matter what, 90 degrees, that parallel from the middle of the sun, the most direct sun ray should be the warmest spot, period. And we should be able to trace that around Earth.
Right. Now, and this indirectly relates back to the time zones. Now, even if so for instance, we'll say if the United States was directly at that closest point to the sun on the sphere. You know the area I'm talking about, right?
Say one more time.
Okay.
I say, so just hypothetically speaking, we'll take up the United States of America. Now just imagine the United States of America being at that point that's closest to the sun, according to where it would be located on the ball. You know the position I'm talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I heard you wanted to be back on the screen.
Dude, hold on. Just chill for a second. Now, in that position, how come New Jersey can't experience high noon at the same time as California?
Are you asking me this?
No, this was for Sean. on.
Okay.
But do you see what I'm saying? But this is how I'm saying this indirectly relates back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Now, the size of that sun, which is 864,000 miles in diameter or circumference or whatever the fuck it is, even though it's 93 million miles away, it would be impossible for that sun that's projecting parallel light rays not to illuminate the United States evenly at any point in time across that 12,000 mile distance.
No, okay. So here's the thing: if it's coming, if it's remember, it's coming around a corner. So
right, which lends more credence.
It would still gradually light, produce light over areas the light rays couldn't reach.
No, I don't think
see,
you understand
and that
what I'm
shows
saying.
that shows more that the Earth is spinning than the sun.
Absolutely not.
Why? Because if it was the sun and it was that far away, well, see, it would be basically the argument of how far it is, how big
and not
it
only
is.
that, but not only that, but I'm just kind of thinking of it. But if it was the Earth that was actually spinning like they say, wouldn't that change the direction of the solar eclipse coming in to America?
What?
No, because the spin is faster than the moon's orbit. So we're watching it go across. But when it comes down to where the sun is and where we are, and you're observing it, we're actually going faster. Oh, my connection is starting to go crap. Hang on one sec. Got to figure out what's on and turn it off. Hang on.
All right, so look, this kid's back. I want to ask this kid, Sean, bring up that diagram you had again with the Earth that's got the axis on it where the sun's located. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the one I made a little while ago. All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I literally have to remember how to share. There we go.
I'm looking at it at the moment.
I'm about to get on my computer, but I don't even know if I know how to work that motherfucker anymore.
That's how I feel right now. I haven't used this.
So, can I just ask something? If you can ask me a question, can I ask you a question afterwards?
Sure, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so let's say that I've got a 1 square meter panel or something, and I angle it perpendicular to the sun. It will get hotter than if I angle it 45 degrees to the sun. Is that correct?
I'm going to say, yeah, for the most part, I could say that that's basically correct to some degree or another.
Now, this light source is, let's just pick a random number, 20 meters away. And I then move it 2 meters closer. But I also angle it 45 degrees. So that's 1/10 closer, but then it's receiving half the light. So it still wouldn't be as hot, right?
I'm not going to say it wouldn't be as hot. I think it would. I think it would be just as hot. It would probably just be, reflecting the light off in a different angle.
So we've got let's just change this to perpendicular 1 meter squared at 10 meters away versus a 45 degree one at 9 meters away.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. First of all, I live in the United States and we don't use meters, so that's all fucking Swahili to me. For one, but I'm just trying to get to your point. Like, so basically what I'm getting from what you're saying is just because you change the distance of the light and the angle of the reflective material or something, it's going to change its intensity or something. I mean, is this what
no, this relates to seasons.
Okay.
Because angled away from the sun.
Yeah, yeah.
On a globe model, right?
Sure.
And they're angled towards them during summer. right?
Okay.
So summer's warmer than winter.
Yeah.
So then why is your model tilting it? Why is your diagram tilting the one where it hasn't got it warmer in summer?
Wait, doesn't the Earth tilt?
See, this part you gotta realize that first of all, it's your model that has the tilt. You're asking
about the diagram
you're asking me why in the diagram that it's tilted. And it's showing you the reason why it's showing you that it's tilted in the diagram is because according to what the globe model calls the equator, doesn't make sense when it's on the 23-degree angle. The tilt, the equator doesn't match up with the tilt. That's why they're showing you the Earth tilted with the equator on what appears to be a 45-degree angle.
22 and a half, basically, but I digress.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the exact number is. It's just a simple fact that in the real world, what we call the equator is that band that is wrapped around that globe. However, when you tilt that globe on the apparent 23-degree angle that it's supposedly on, that equator no longer matches up with the reality of the heat source that's being projected.
My browser, sorry.
I mean, if you don't understand that, dude, I don't know what else to tell you. And you can use all these 9mm and angular changes of mirrors and shit like that to try to get your point across with how the seasons work, but it doesn't.
I hate to interrupt you,
doesn't make any sense.
My browser, it's frozen.
Oh wow, that sucks. Well, anyway, can you see the display that Sean G has put up?
No, it's not responding. I'm gonna drop off for a bit and rejoin.
Oh, okay.
Cool. No worries.
Yeah.
I want to look into it more because I see what you're saying exactly, and if it isn't right, then it needs to be explained to me because I literally looked at it and that's what I would have imagined.
Me in the chat. What?
Yeah, there's two of you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried screen sharing and it crashed the browser.
Can you see that diagram up there with the red circle and the?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So basically, what this is the sun.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing with the two lines in it is the Earth.
I know they're not correct.
Okay,
just
now
use your imagination, please.
Right now, just so like we understand that's showing the northern hemisphere is experiencing winter.
Yes.
Okay, so we understand what we're looking at.
Yeah.
All right, so boom. Now, hypothetically, we'll say right now, you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because the other one left. All right, so hypothetically, right now, we'll just say that's depicting the Earth at its winter solstice, just because in the northern hemisphere is in the north. Okay, now when that Earth is on the opposite side of that sun, and the northern hemisphere is now experiencing summer, how is it possible for us to see the same exact stars we saw in the winter?
But we don't.
We sure do.
I've observed this over the past year. We don't see the same stars.
Absolutely, we do.
I hate to break it to you, but
they just
stars kind of look the same. But I've been doing astronomy lately. They do change very gradually.
We shouldn't listen. Throughout the course of a year, can you trace a certain group of stars or a procession of stars according to how they're located, in their constellations? Okay, now can you repeat that on a yearly basis?
If you wait a year, they'll be back in the same spot.
In the same exact spot.
Apart from the planets, but yeah.
Okay, now.
Well, not quite the same exact spot, but close enough.
Listen, I've been watching the stars in my backyard at this particular house for the past 14 years. And every year, like clockwork, every single star that was in the position that it was the year previously, up until I want to say like maybe with like a 2 or 3 day swing, something like that. Basically, they're in the exact same locations as they were in the previous year.
Yeah.
Okay, now if that can happen cyclically, annually, and that sun or that earth is on opposite sides of that sun according to the seasons, how and we're also flying through space at the same time, how can we have such a precise repetition of constellations and stars appearances in the skies on such a regular basis? How can a mariner or ancient seagoer navigate the stars for centuries and centuries on end if we're flying through space and those stars are constantly the same and never changing?
Yeah. I'm not well versed in the actual numbers of this, but how fast is it that Earth is zipping through the Milky Way?
66,000 miles,
from
or I'm sorry, it's about 3.5 million miles per day.
Okay,
right, so
so
you
where you
got
got
you
that?
got the earth is spinning at 1,000 on its axis
Yeah, I know
at
that
the
much, and
equator. Okay, it's rotating around the sun at like 65,000 or
66.
650,000, whatever it is, and then the sun. No, it's going around the sun. I think it's at like
yeah.
65,000, and the sun's going through the galaxy at like 850,000, and the
Okay, no, we
galaxy
got that
itself.
850,000 number.
No, it's
Now,
3.5. It's 3.5 million that the sun is traveling
well,
through.
Right, but the point is that we have four different motions,
yeah. But then think about
four
it.
different
These
four
stars
different
are also moving the
motions.
same way as the sun
Hey,
at roughly the same
make
speed.
sure you let them
But
finish, because
but we
otherwise you're talking over.
experience but we but we experience zero parallax, and if
We do.
even at the distances that they claim, we
We
should
do experience
experience
parallax. That's how
some
they
parallax.
calculate how far away stars are.
No,
It's a very small
no,
amount, but it's there. It's enough to be measured with a high-powered telescope.
there's been no parallax
Yeah, it has
measured
been.
in
Did you
in
research this, or did you just
tens.
assert it?
No,
Can you show? Share?
this is something that I've been into for a while, but there is
You can't
zero.
notice it with the naked eye. It is a very small amount of parallax. You think about it. You're moving the amount in the orbit, the diameter of the orbit, whereas this thing's like light years away. There's going to
Okay,
be a tiny
okay,
amount of
but
parallax, but it's
okay.
still there.
Listen.
Can you show something that shows that the stars are changing then? Because you're saying you can't see with the naked eye, so that means you had to have seen it somewhere. Do you at least have the data, or something that depicts what you're saying?
Listen, this is what he needs to realize. Even if it were possible to perceive these things at hundreds and thousands and millions of light years away, which is impossible. But
I agree.
even if you could perceive these things, whether it's by eye or with tools of any type, there would be a large degree of parallax between something that is 100,000 light years away compared to something that's 2 million light years away. That would be the equivalent of you seeing like a tree as you drive by on a train doing 50 miles an hour and seeing the mountain on the distance. You would still see some degree of parallax, even at those given numbers, at those great distances. Yet over dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of years, there has been no perceivable parallax of any kind. And that is exactly why the constellations are exactly the same as they are today as they were back in ancient times. They haven't changed at all 1 bit. So you're going to sit here and tell me at however many years that history claims man has been observing the stars that there has been no parallax whatsoever in all of that time?
Parallax is
Like,
annual.
but you're saying
I
it's
was waiting
annual.
for you to
See,
finish, but
listen,
then I
this
thought,
is,
no, I'm going to
but
say
this
it. So
is the thing.
parallax is throughout the year. It's not throughout. It's not throughout multiple years. It's
Okay,
throughout
okay,
1 year.
now, okay, but now something that you call a year is indeed cyclical, is it or is it not?
Yes, yes, it's cyclical
Okay,
parallax.
so now if you have a cyclical parallax, how does that occur in a linear system when you have a sun that's traveling through the universe linearly?
Because
How do
other
you,
things are moving
how,
along with it at the same speed, or roughly thereabouts.
okay, so then
If you
that
think
goes
about it, the
back.
sun isn't
So
the only
no,
thing moving around
listen,
the Milky
no.
Way galaxy, right?
So listen, no. That goes back to now you have four motions at astronomical speeds that you can't account for that are not showing up in the stars.
Because they're moving at the same speed. It's kind of like you've got a train going next to you at the same speed as you. This train
Dude,
isn't moving.
you can
Whoa!
you can take long exposure photos of perfect concentric circles if the
Because
galaxy
that's
and
over
the
a day. We're
Earth.
talking about things over a year.
I'm talking about over the thousands of years. The constellations haven't changed 1 bit. They haven't changed 1 bit.
Um,
Even if hypothetically, even if everything was flying through the galaxy at the same exact rate, just because some things are 10 light years away and some things are 100 light years away, you would experience an extreme amount of parallax and something with those two extreme distances between the two. Unequivocally, there's no way you can deny that, and if you do, you don't understand how parallax works.
you're kind of like trying to put me moving my head back and forth slightly as a mountain should be getting parallax with another mountain further away. That's kind of the orders of magnitude you're dealing with.
You both successfully confused me, so I have nothing to say.
So you're sitting here and you're moving your head back and forth, and you've got one mountain like 4 miles away and another one like even further away, and you're just thinking, if I move my head back and forth, there should be parallax that should be visible with the naked eye. You need very special equipment to be able to detect that parallax. That's the sort of thing with Earth's orbit diameter compared to the stars in the distance. Hello?
I'm here. I can hear you.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay.
I just don't think he had I felt the need to respond.
Is
Okay.
anybody going to say anything?
Like I said, I need to look it up. I see exactly where Dre's coming from. I'm having a hard time seeing where you're coming from, but I think it's just in the explanation.
I mean, it's like even with the stars, when we're on the opposite side of the sun, we're looking in two completely different directions, and you're trying to justify it with
You can see different stars when you're on the different sides of the sun.
no, you don't.
You do. I've seen it with my own eyes. There's different stars at this time of year than in winter. I'm in the southern hemisphere, if you didn't know.
Okay, I'm in the northern hemisphere.
I've never seen Polaris, but I'm pretty sure it exists.
Where do you live? Are you like in Australia or something?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
I live in the windiest city in the world.
That's pretty close to Australia.
Not really.
I mean, compared
Closer
to where
to
we
anywhere
live.
else, yeah.
Well, I
say,
mean,
yeah, it's close.
here's another interesting thing here. I'm going to see if I can kind of remember it because I
It's
actually
kind
did
of
a
like the same thing as Iceland is close to Greenland. Well, no, England.
Say what?
No,
Exactly.
New Zealand is a lot closer than
New Zealand is as close to Australia as Iceland is to England.
No, okay, anyway, can you keep going, please? Uh,
I'm just
I,
putting it out there.
I don't think you under. Okay, you're right. You're right. Just yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, look, I did this. I'm trying to find because I'm on my phone, so it ain't
Yeah.
like I got
Yeah. No worries. No worries.
major access to this shit.
I know if you
But
were on your computer, you more than willing to share stuff. So
yeah, but like okay, I, I'm trying to think. It had something to do because he said something about New Zealand or whatever. But anyway, it was something that I did about
Was it about that alleged observation of the North Star at 20 degrees south or something? Because
say
I've looked
what?
into it and I've gone through pages and pages of articles and they're all secondhand accounts.
slow down. Like I don't know what you're. What do you? Is this recently or like something you just came across, or is it like big news? Like I'm confused. What the relevance of
Never
it is?
mind.
What?
Never mind. I was getting ahead of myself and
Relax.
All
everybody
right, look,
else.
well,
Breathe.
this I'm trying to remember it, but just think about this. Like, all right, I'm in Jersey, all right,
I have
and
no idea what that is.
it's on the east coast of America, like northeast.
Okay.
All right, so obviously on a regular basis, like I see the moon out at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And the sun will be out also. but yet people in fucking Australia can see the moon. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. How the fuck do how does that happen? Or shit like sunrise could be due or no, you know what? We'll say moonrise because I can see the moon in Jersey. Like it'll be like fucking I don't know. I want to say like 11 o'clock in the morning here in New Jersey, and I'll see the moon.
What phase is this?
We'll say probably like uh
Because from what you're saying, I'd say it's about half if you've
it's
got that sort of.
yeah, it would be. I would say it's kind of like half, maybe a little less than half, but I'm not sure. I think it would be more like a waning crescent. That would probably be more of
I have
a.
no idea what waning and stuff is because the
All right,
moon's upside
so
down here.
waning crescent for me would mean that it's in its second phase and it's starting to shrink. It's a little bit less than half, so it's got like a slight crescent to it. It's not quite half. It's kind of like maybe 38, 39% illuminated, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to go outside and check the moon. You two talk a minute. I'll see if I can see the moon.
Okay. Thank you. I'm kind of confused right now. All right. Um. No, so like I said in the chat,
All right.
I'm ecstatic about kids are getting a lot fucking smarter. Definitely smarter than we were when we were kids.
Oh, yo, how old is this kid? I'm like, I don't mean to be cussing and whatever.
He's like 13 or no 14, 15. No, I think he's 7. Okay. His ADD.
Can he hear me?
No, you're good. His ADD
Okay, I'm back.
a lot like.
Yo,
Hang on.
yo,
I'll,
what's your name? Sorry,
no worries.
Sean. What's your name?
Gorgonopsid.
He
I'm gonna just call you. I'm gonna call you G man. Yo,
Or just
I mean,
Gorg.
how old are you?
17.
All right. Well, I don't feel too bad about cussing, but I'm sorry if
Oh,
you
no,
know.
it's okay.
There are if there is a couple of the what I call the Discord kids that if they were here I would say something because there's like one or two of them who like don't listen to cussing at all. But he's this one here. He's a little bit more advanced for it. He can handle it. He doesn't get personal like that.
All right.
I'm okay with it because my mum swears so much.
All right. So look, yo, listen, back to this moon thing before I kind of like lose it or whatever. All right. So look, I'll see it in Jersey, and like I said, it'll be like 11 o'clock or whatever,
Okay.
and the or
Is this
yeah.
about now?
Now, right now it's 1:30, and I mean, right now it's like it's 2:45.
Yeah, almost.
Okay.
I'm just using this as a hypothetical. But these are actually I'm looking at the screenshots that I took of the time and date at the time because I made a
Okay.
post about it. So I'm kind of like reading through that a little bit. But anyway, so we'll say I'm in Jersey, and it was like fucking it was like 1 o'clock, maybe. No, it was like 11 o'clock when I did this. I think it was like 11 o'clock. I don't know. Whatever. It was pretty early. Well, anyway,
Pretty early. Okay.
and I could see, like I said, I could see basically half of the moon.
Okay.
Now, at the same time, out of curiosity, I googled what the fucking moon was doing in Australia. Now, it told me it told me that moonrise, meaning that they should have been able to see the moon in Australia at uh 2:35 a.m., which would have been Australia time. I think it was like Sydney or something.
Yeah. I'm kind
So
of having a hard time trying to visualize what would be happening.
so basically, I'm looking at the moon. It was
So
like
is it rising at that time?
it's basically right above my head in my backyard.
Ah, yeah.
And like I said, I'm in New Jersey. Now, according to time and date, basically in like 3 hours from the time that I looked at the moon and took the screenshots of time and dates information, they're telling me that the fucking moon was supposed to be coming up in Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, you're
Like
about halfway around the globe. So on the globe model, you're about halfway around, a quarter of the way around the circumference. So that would make sense. A quarter of
it's
a day.
it's a quarter of a day. So you're telling me that the moon is going to travel from
No,
basically
no, it's the moon isn't traveling that fast.
okay.
It's
So
the Earth
then
rotating. So
okay, okay,
somebody,
okay, okay. No, wait. That makes it even better. So basically, Sydney is like, I think it's like 14 hours ahead of New Jersey.
yeah,
Okay, so even if it's the Earth that's supposedly spinning, that means that the Earth would have to be rotating at approximately 3 to 4 thousand miles per hour to cover that distance in that amount of time.
wait, what? Let me think. Uh, I'm gonna have to like do some math here real quick. See if I can figure this one out.
Well, you know what? It'd be a good time. Want me to show that the video, Trey?
What video?
Damn, you are high. The one you sent me earlier, or was that just for my?
Oh, about the waterfall?
Yeah, was that just for me?
I mean, no, I don't give a fuck. You can show it. It's nowhere near done or
Oh,
whatever. That's
fuck it,
just
no.
me. Nah, you can
No,
fuck. I don't
fuck
give a
that.
fuck.
No,
Whatever.
fuck that. I like being the only one who knows what it looks like. They can see the fucking end result.
Shit, dog. By the time I post some shit for them to see it, whatever. I don't give a fuck. If you show it, you show it. If you don't, you don't.
Fuck everybody. It's for me.
It would be roughly 1,500 kilometers an hour.
See, I don't know what kilometers are.
That's
It's
around about
about
1,000 miles an hour.
it's about a .8 of a mile, maybe a little
There are
less.
1.6 kilometers per mile,
Yeah, there you go.
so roughly 1,000 miles an hour.
I'm just saying the world
I'm
needs
a,
to get on the standard measurement
I'm
system.
about to, for some reason, I don't know why my shit is acting up and I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to pull this, the shit, this post that I made because I'm fucking high as hell right now. And the shit is just kind of like, uh, but I can tell you, this is what I can tell you though. I know at that time when I took that picture and I took the video and I recorded the information from time and date. the moon was basically above my head. And when I say above my head, if that represents 12 o'clock, I would say that the moon was like between the 12 and the one hand position. So when I say above my head, it was like slightly to the right a little bit, but it was basically above my head. Now,
There's one
that
thing that's I'm sorry. It's just that there's one thing, you're really bad at trying to judge angles in the sky, and I know this from experience.
well, no, I mean, listen, the angle, whatever the actual angle is, it really doesn't make a difference because it was so directly above my head and the sun was right next to it. Mind you, this is the reason why I took the video in the first place, because it was so close to the fucking sun. It was like unreal, and it wasn't full. That's that was why I made the video in the first place, because it was so close to the sun and it wasn't full. But anyway, at like 11 o'clock in the morning, for that moon to be that close above my head, as far as me being in New Jersey, but yet time and date was telling me within the next 3.5 to 4 hours that people in Sydney, Australia were going to be seeing what they call the moon rise, tells me that whether it's the moon that's moving or whether it's the earth that's moving, either way you slice it, in order for it to cover that distance in 3.5 or 4 hours or whatever it was, it would have to be traveling at 3,000, probably damn near 4,000 miles per
I just did
hour.
the math and said it's 1,000 miles an hour.
And I don't agree with that.
I did
Whatever
the
you
math
did,
wrong. I might have gotten something wrong, but
I'll say explain to me how you got to that, and then when I find the shit that I did, I can kind of explain to you how I got to my number.
okay. Why are people saying I'm funny?
You have a sense of entertaining atmosphere about you.
Yay.
Thanks for egging them on, people.
Okay, look. Now here, I'm gonna read it right now because I just found it. And okay, so if Sydney, Australia is 13 to 15 hours ahead of us here in New Jersey, depending on location, and I currently see the
There's
moon.
daylight savings on at the moment.
Say
Might want
what?
to take that into account.
This what?
It adds an hour.
This is something I'm reading that I posted on November the 1st because
Okay.
I took a video because the moon was so close to the sun, it was ridiculous.
November the 1st.
November the 1st, yes.
I remember something very vividly, and I'm not sure if you'll get this, but I was playing Universe Sandbox and I had the real-time thing on, and I was going through and I thought, the moon's going to be really close to the sun on November the 1st.
You know what? Matter of fact,
You're cutting out, sorry.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit. Dre, we can't hear you at all.
Hopefully he didn't drop his phone.
No, yeah, looks like he's redoing it because I can see him muting, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Let me see if he comes back on. Because I can lie, I myself smoked a little bit, and I have brain farted myself to not even having anything to say. So if he doesn't come back on for you guys to finish, then we'll go ahead and end it. And as a matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna go do. I'll go ahead and end this one. Again, my main reason I came on was to see if Quentin or Jerome would come over from Bro Sanchez. Oh, there he goes. Oh yeah, go ahead. You guys keep going. Well, if it works.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
I was disconnected me and shit.
Say it again. I want to make sure I
You
can hear you.
still seem to be cutting in and out.
Is that?
Are you in somewhere that's got good internet?
Nah, it's actually because I was trying to send this video.
Okay, I see.
Oh.
Well, everyone else is shit out of luck because I gotta
Damn
wait for it
it.
to load to get to it.
My bad.
You're good.
No, it's not my connection. It's that I was trying to send this video, and every time I try to do it, it just disconnects me or whatever. It's some bullshit.
Okay.
But anyway,
Bandwidth.
this is what it was. Nah, it's just because when I click on the video, it plays the video, and the video takes precedence over the Hangout call or some shit.
Yeah.
It's just settings. It's some shit I don't understand, and I'm not trying to
Because it's
understand.
not the window that's on top. It's not giving it any processor.
Well, I'm on the phone.
Well, same thing. Phone has a processor on it.
Yeah, but it's not as it's not as powerful as a computer.
No multitasking.
Yeah, but it's got settings. I could change the settings, and it'll probably stop that from happening. But I just don't give a fuck about it like that.
Just have you got a link to it?
It's on Facebook. I mean, I could probably get a link to it, but like I said, every time I try to get it while I'm in this call, it starts playing. Starts playing the video.
Do you have Discord?
Yeah, but it's like I had to get rid of it because it was taking up information.
Link after this call.
Yeah, Discord.
Well, anyway,
cell phones.
This is like I said, this is from November 1st. Like I said, now if Australia is 13 to 15 hours ahead of me in New Jersey, depending on the location, and let's see, it was 10:45 in the morning, and literally, like I said, I'm using the clock as a reference. If directly above my head is 12 o'clock. The moon was literally between 12 and 1 o'clock, favoring 1 o'clock, and the sun was at like between 10 and 11 o'clock. And I'm not even exaggerating. That's how close the damn sun was to the moon. Yet the moon wasn't full. This was at 10:45 in the morning in New Jersey.
I'd be concerned if the moon was full and it was that close.
Well, considering that the sun was still low in the sky, because mind you, it's not like summertime, and obviously it's not noon, even though it's pretty close. It's still not noon because the sun's not above my head.
Can I tell you something that happens pretty much every full moon around here?
Werewolves?
No. It's basically, I've got this big window and it faces east. And just after the sun goes down, you'll know it's a full moon immediately because it's like, oh, the moon is just on the horizon and it's completely full. It's just like, oh, hello, moon.
Okay, well, the point I guess that I'm making is if I can see the moon regardless, like I said, even it's that close to the sun and it's still not full. And it should be, if it's facing that close to the sun, it should absolutely be full. But anyway,
no, because the dark side's going to be facing us because the other side's going to be lit up.
Well, and if you want to take it to that level, then if that's the case, why the fuck do I see blue sky on what should be the dark side of the moon?
Because it's the same as why the sky's black. There's no light there.
Listen, let me tell you something. If that damn moon is 240,000 miles away from Earth, that means it's in outer space. How the hell do I see blue sky in something that's supposedly outer space?
Because the sky's in between us and the moon.
Come on, bro. It's supposed to be a solid. It's supposed to be a solid object.
The sky's black at night. The sky's black at night, right? Because there's no light.
I thought he said that guy. This guy. I was like,
listen to me.
There's no light. Okay, there's no light coming off the backside of the moon.
The moon is supposed to be a solid object. If the moon is a solid object, how can I see blue sky when it's only half lit?
Because there's nothing differentiating it between space. If you saw a star through through the thing, I'd be concerned.
Oh, there's actually footage of people seeing stars through the moon because it's
Can
transparent.
you
It's
direct
not
me to
something
that?
that's
Because that would be interesting.
Just Google it. There's actually
uh
quite a bit of footage.
yeah, I was about to say it's quite easily found, so I'm not gonna like hold your hand in that department, but you can find
I'm
plenty
gonna
of
look at that.
videos where people film, and this is where you get things like the Islamic flag, the symbol that they use, where you have the crescent moon with the star inside. That's showing you three phenomena. It's actually showing you the star showing through the moon. It's showing you an eclipse, and it's showing and it's showing you a lunar or a solar eclipse.
Yeah.
So it like I said before, that's really, anyway, back to
Yeah.
what I was saying about this moon being in New Jersey at 10:45 a.m. my time, which means it would be uh let's see, I'm just going to read it. So 10:45 a.m. Jersey time in Sydney, Australia is due to see moonrise at 2:35 a.m. Australia time. So
Uh-huh.
2:35 a.m. Australia time is 11:35 a.m. New Jersey time.
Yeah.
You got that? Okay. So
I'm gonna have to drop off in a few seconds, so I'll let you continue until I have to go.
okay, so basically, and they're 13 to 15 hours ahead of us. Now, if it takes an airplane 17 hours direct flight, if it takes an airplane 17 hours to reach Australia and it's moving at like 500 miles per hour.
Yeah. But remember, it's not going directly across the equator. It's going a longer distance.
Say what?
It's going a longer distance because it's not going.
It's going a longer distance?
It's going a longer distance than the Earth has to rotate.
Right? I'm confused with what you're
So
saying.
so even if you're saying that the moon's going a longer distance, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that the plane's going a longer distance because remember, it's got to go from one place to another across the equator, whereas the
Absolutely
moon's just
not.
going pretty much
It's
around the
making
equator.
it's making a direct flight. It's making a direct flight.
I
How's it
know, but
going?
both of them aren't on the equator, are they?
How far away is Sydney, Australia from New Jersey?
Are
17 hours on a plane?
It's about 6,000 miles or so, maybe eight.
6,000 miles.
Huh?
Okay.
it's more of a question, but okay.
Okay, so
I'm going to have to drop off now, guys.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Thank you for
Yep.
stopping in.
Yep. Pleasure talking with you guys.
yeah, it was real. It was real good.
Hope to see you at some time. Again.
He'll,
Oh, I'm sure you will.
he'll be around.
Yep. See ya.
Peace.
Take care.
No,
Huh.
I kind of understand what you were saying, but like I said, I smoked a little while ago too. So about 10, 15 minutes ago, I let both you guys just go on your own.
Like seriously, I just don't see how either way you slice it, whether it's the Earth that's moving or whether it's the damn moon that's moving. How does the moon make it basically from New Jersey to Australia in 4 hours? If the moon is expected to be seen in Sydney at 2:35 a.m.
That See, those are the things I need to figure out because, like I said, I'm the same person. I still try to I rather understand what's going on than just assume. And I'm gonna look it up because I that equator thing really got me. I, I get exactly where you're coming from when you were talking about the equator thing, and now
being on the tilt.
I'm confused too about it. I mean, regardless, if I can go and figure it out and then spread the word, hey, at least we fucking started doing something. That's what I think everyone needs to do. At least get the fuck up and research rather than
Well,
go ahead.
no, I hear you. I'm gonna send you another. I'm gonna send you another picture or a meme or whatever with a major problem on it. I'm going to see if you can even figure it out.
All right.
And I explained it to you, but
Let me know when it gets there so I can, because I gotta switch screens to do it. I don't have to switch, but makes it
I'm
easier.
sending it now.
Okay. Let me go over there.
It actually sent.
Because it's two different, for me, it's two completely different chats um, that I have to actually load up to do. So I won't know it's there unless I look. Okay, I see. So,
Shit, here's another one. This is what I just don't think he gets this visually. That's why I love these little memes because they're so visual. It gets you to see the problem.
let me share these in the chat real quick. Oh, as quick as I can.
And this is like basic shit though. This isn't even like I got some shit about like gravity and things of this nature that are major problems that
Well, you should
just can't
definitely,
be answered.
you need to start doing that stuff because I need to figure it out. I'd be pretty pissed off if when it all is said and done and I'm like, oh shit, I'm a Glober now. Now you guys gonna start coming out
You're
with shit?
breaking up.
Yeah, and now my signal's starting to get all funky. Um, Most likely because it's late and people are starting to get here. Hang on one sec.
Here,
Um,
this is another one. I wish I would have came across this one earlier because this one right here kind of helps you see how if the sun is where they say it is and whatever else, why it would be pointless for a place like America or any place for that matter to have three time zones as small as it is, or four time zones.
Hang on, give me one sec because I'm saving the pictures and then I'm putting them on my OBS so I can show everyone.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm just
Well, the one thing that I definitely realized is that at least for me, I need to not look so much big picture when I'm trying to solve these things. Like for instance, like the equator thing. I'm gonna when I look into that,
mm,
regardless of the shape, I need to figure out why. You know what I mean? Like sun rays and how they work, because that confuses the crap out of me.
the crepuscular rays.
Yeah, because it doesn't make
That should
it doesn't make sense to me
that shouldn't
how
con
it can all be
that shouldn't
90.
confuse you at all.
Why?
Listen to me. Basically, they say that happens because of the Earth's atmosphere, right? They say that the Earth's atmosphere makes those those rays bend that way. Ain't that what they say or some shit like that?
They say what I'm told is that every light ray from the sun is at 90 degrees straight down. But I mean, obviously, it don't look that way to me.
Yeah, when you see that shit coming in through those angles, it'd be impossible if the light rays were coming parallel
Yeah,
on 90-degree angles. It would be impossible for them to make those types of crepuscular rays,
absolutely. Yeah, that's the confusing part for me. I still haven't
right?
had anyone. Yeah, I haven't had anyone explain it or been able to figure out why.
All right, now, boom. Now check this out. Now, technically, being that those light those light angles are being bent that way because of the Earth's atmosphere, right?
I could see I could see that because I've always wondered if the moisture in the air is what does it, right? That's what you mean?
Well, yeah, but see the you. I'm going to send you a picture right now. It's a picture of six different kinds of lenses. Now, I'm telling you that the Earth's atmosphere acts in a way which we would call a positive meniscus lens. That means that the outside surface matches the inside surface. if that makes any sense. So if you had like a double convex lens, two you would have two surfaces that are convex. So you would have a lens that has a bubble on both sides.
Is that
If
called
you
something?
had, it's called a double convex lens.
Okay. Oh no, I'm thinking of one of the lenses that they were talking about trying to make for geoengineering. That,
Okay, now listen, there's different kinds. So you have a double convex. That means you know what a convex lens is. So that means both surfaces are convex.
hmm?
Then you have a double concave. So both surfaces of the lens are concave, the front and the back. Then you have like a plane concave where one side is concave, one side is flat. Then you have a plane convex where one side is flat, one side is convex. Then you have a positive meniscus. Both the inside and the outside are convex.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And
Did,
then you have a negative meniscus where both the inside and the outside are concave, I believe it is. Well, anyway, the Earth's atmosphere as a globe should act in a positive meniscus lens fashion. And anybody that, and even that, once you see a diagram, I'm gonna send you a diagram too. But any light rays that are coming into a positive meniscus lens, they focus to a point. You see what I'm saying?
okay.
So,
Yeah.
so how can you have a corpuscular ray created from a light source that's on the outside of a positive meniscus lens? It's impossible. Let me send you this chart because it'll be easier for you to understand what I'm saying when you pick the picture that matches with what they call Earth's atmosphere best, you'll see the problem.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you now. All right, it should be on. Yeah, it should be there now. I mean, it should just. I mean, I just sent it anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm on right now. I'm on the third. Yeah, the third one. Yeah, the third one you sent. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's just a picture with six lenses on it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I have because I have the images on the watch page, just basically so everyone can see what you were talking about when you were
Oh,
doing it.
okay.
But I'm trying to space them out so people can still see them.
Right, right.
All
I
right.
got you.
All right. Now I'm getting the graph. Oh, okay. I see exactly what you're saying.
What are you looking at? The lens shapes?
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Right. So now you see how it's a positive meniscus. That's what Earth's atmosphere would be. Even as a flat plane, that dome or whatever that upper structure or shape of whether it's the energy or the dome itself, whatever you want to call it, would still take on that form of the positive meniscus. You see what I'm saying?
No, no, yeah, no, no. I see exactly what you're saying now. But see that's the issue though, because
Through that,
we don't see that though. See, that's confusing.
oh damn, my bad. I didn't hear a word you said.
I was saying that because the positive meniscus lens looks like it would be something that does the opposite. Like what I
You
see,
would
what we
you would
see, it looks more like the negative meniscus lens, where it hits the lens and then shoots out in all directions. That positive
right.
meniscus,
That's focuses it to a point.
but we don't see that.
Right. But this is one of the reasons why you can tell that argument that globe believers
Oh, okay.
believe is bullshit because they say that the atmosphere is what makes the light rays splay off from the parallel 90-degree angle that they should be on. They're saying the atmosphere makes them splay out. when in all actuality, Earth's atmosphere would make them focus to a point,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
that lens represents what Earth's atmosphere is. So, in order for us to experience crepuscular rays the way that they claim, our atmosphere would have to be shaped in the manner of the negative meniscus lens. And we know that the atmosphere, or whatever you want to call it, is not shaped that way.
I see what you're saying now.
So this right here, just by looking at the positive meniscus, this tells you one of, or actually it tells you several things, or at least it tells me several things. It tells me that the light that is coming through that atmosphere either doesn't or isn't affected by that. So it could be within that, what we call the dome. But what I think it is, I think that the real light source is outside of what we would call that positive meniscus. And then somehow it becomes apparent, or it's I guess, transferred onto that dome, or that energy of the dome, and it moves across it somehow. This is one of the reasons why you can't triangulate the sun, because everybody sees it from a different perspective, and you can't truly triangulate it. This is why nobody can actually tell you that the actual location of the sun, is because it's actually an image that's being projected from an exterior source, perhaps. But that light, but the light that's coming through there, once it hits those clouds, those, and it splays out in the way that we see in a crepuscular manner, that's when you can trace it back to its source. And that's because it's being focused onto those clouds. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see exactly what you're saying.
And then when it hits the cloud splays it out into all the different directions. And this is how you can trace it back to the light source. You can almost kind of see exactly what I'm saying, how if the light is actually outside of what we would call the atmosphere, which we know it's not, but if it were on the outside of the atmosphere, it would focus that light. So I'm saying that the sun, or what we perceive to be the sun, is within our atmosphere, whether it's physically in that dome or beneath that dome. This is what allows us to trace it as far as the crepuscular rays, and point back to its origination or its source.
Now what you're saying, it's at least making more sense, because I was kind of confused at first, because I'm looking, like, I looked at the lenses and I'm going, it's pretty clear which one it would need to be.
Right. But it doesn't do that. At least not according to a globe belief.
Yeah, and that would be, you're talking, that's the shape of the dome, or how the atmosphere works.
Either or. If you're looking at a sphere, that atmosphere would have to be shaped in that fashion. And if you're looking at a flat plane with a dome on top, the atmosphere or the dome is still going to be shaped in that fashion. Either way you slice it,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter, globe or dome. This is why it's so relevant, as far as I'm concerned, is because it applies across the board as far as both models. And if that's the case, and you have light rays on a parallel angle coming through that type of lens, which the atmosphere or the dome would serve as, it would absolutely focus that light to a point. It would never splay it out as we see in crepuscular rays. So that tells you that that light is either, the source of that light is within that dome, or that circular arc. And this is why you can trace it back with the crepuscular rays, or somehow the light source is obviously located outside of what we would call the dome, but the way that it's projected into our reality, we still see it, where we can basically trace it back to its source through crepuscular rays. You would never be able to do that uh, with that globe model. It just wouldn't happen. You see, you would never get crepuscular rays from a globus atmosphere or even a dome for that matter. The light source would have to be within the dome or projected from it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I definitely need to piece it together though. Man, you had to put all this on me right now. Too damn high for this shit.
Man, I you should have. I don't know how you even got to the point that you was talking about going back to that shit without consulting your boy in the first place. I'm like, you done bumped your motherfucking
I thought
head,
you went on a
boy. Come
hiatus, man.
on.
I still,
Nah, I mean,
I still got a lot of
I've been.
questions. I don't, I still, I'm telling you right now, I can tell you for a fact that a lot of the issues that I have is all the false, uh, the disinformation that's going out right now. That's the issue. And I've been saying
Yeah,
that for a minute now. A lot of people hearing me been saying it. And it's got to the point where it's like, damn, they're getting kind of violent. You're getting, they're just spreading crap like that Discord, 24/7. That's the worst. I mean,
bro. This is
they
listen. I
literally make
got
shit up to as their proofs.
see. I don't. That's this is one of the reasons why I don't really mess with people too tough like that because I'm not trying to be taking in some bullshit now. I've been taking in some good I've been taking in some good flat Earth information, and to me, it's got a lot more validity in areas than some of the shit that we've been rocking with for the past year, 2 years, or whatever the case may be. It's still flat Earth, no doubt, but as far as the shape, like I'm to be honest with you. I'm on the fence about the roundness of it right now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not the spherical roundness or whatever, because like I said, I do believe to an extent that Earth is round on some degree or some level, whatever the case may be. But I'm getting to a point now where I don't even believe that it's round. You know what I mean? And a lot of the shit checks out with some of the I'm not religious or whatever, but I'm kind of familiar with it, and when everything has some truth in it, and if I can pull some truth out of religious text or actually corroborate things with religious text, because as tampered with as they may be, there's still a lot of truth within them and validity to them. Uh, like for instance, when you take something like the Book of Enoch, some of the shit that this talks about in relation to flat Earth and its construction or how it's made, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. This shit's real deep. It's not shit that you can just kind of like walk away from, especially on a flat Earth level. And now I don't. And from what I can see, there's not too many flat Earthers or whatever you want to call geocentrists that are up on this type shit. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's it's
Well, hey,
it's definitely a lot of misinformation out there.
yeah. Well, like I said, man, from the beginning, I've always been all ears. So I'm not gonna, I'm definitely taking everything in. And you brought up some shit that I hadn't thought about. Period. Even before even when I thought it was, flat Earth. It is things that need to be answered. That's more importantly. Um,
Oh yeah.
honestly, I think if either side is going to advance and for whatever reason, explaining it better needs to happen. Because now I think it's a lot of content creators. I think I think almost what I see is like they're like feeling like they're gonna go stale or something. So they have to do the next big thing, and it's like they're literally muddying the waters. It's not good for it. It made me question it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Well, that's one of the things about having a channel, and it's all good to have a channel. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of the reasons why I never really like pursued it. Because honestly, I don't really have the time to dedicate to it, and it would be just like it is now. It's like hit or miss. You might not see nothing from me for 6 or 7 months or whatever, and when you're a content creator, you can't be like that. You got to be
Yeah.
on your grind. You know what I mean? So I kind of understand why people do videos or do live streams or whatever, because their subscribers expect, they expect to see videos and shit, and if they don't, then you become irrelevant.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it. So I kind of get why people do that, but at the same time, you got to be putting out quality shit, or at least cutting edge shit, whatever. And that's another reason why I don't do videos, because I don't feel like none of the information I present is like cutting edge. It ain't like shit that people don't already know. I might have my own little take on it or whatever, but to me, it's not video worthy to be doing videos like that. So
Well, see, that's the crazy. Like, oh shit! So you don't know anything. So basically, it's now like the drama hour, the drama minute. Um, I decided I was gonna leave flat Earth, and I went on Bro Sanchez's panel, thinking it'd be like going on Dreads, just chat it up, how it is like right now between us, it's just chatting, and
mhm.
he kind of went crazy, where to the point where like he started acting like I said I wanted to come on there and debate him, even though I said I didn't, and
Wait, wait,
then
wait, wait. Just because I'm high, so you just gotta bear with me for a minute.
no worries,
Okay.
no worries.
All right. So you're saying that you went on Bro Sanchez to what, like break the news that you wasn't flat Earth no more or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
just
that?
kind of get out there and just be
Oh,
relevant still. I didn't.
word.
Oh yeah, dog. I made an upload about it. I uploaded it. I did the whole nine.
Yes. Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is at first Bro Sanchez is like, why, basically like you were, why do you can't say that? You don't know this, you don't know this. You gotta keep researching. And then as like the minutes went on, he just kind of started going into that. I saw it. It was like, okay, I'm about to be attacked. And I'm not gonna say like attack, like it was rude or nothing, but I knew it was going to that, all Globers have no idea what they're talking about attitude. So basically I muted my mic and I just sat there. The next day, they're talking about me, and a couple of the people on his panel that show up regularly, Quentin and Jerome, sitting there calling me a coward and all this shit, calling me a traitor. Or Sanchez is like, he's a Glober because he has Glober friends. I was like, damn, like, really think I don't have any integrity? That be my reason for switching over? And then so I made an upload 2 nights ago, basically telling it like it was. You know, hey, Bro Sanchez, first of all, because in the beginning he said he was the general. Sorry, obviously he's not, because dust off my shoulder. I'm the jam general. Period. Uh,
Oh
then
my
he kind of went
god.
on with then his panelists, who are I
Yeah.
consider
Wait.
yes
Is
men. Hang on, I consider yes men. I called him out. I told him, let's debate. So that's what I've actually been going live for the past 2 days for, just waiting for them to finally pop in the chat. I haven't planned it out right, so I'm not blaming them for not being here. They didn't puss out or nothing. So, but I need to get them here so we can do this.
wait. Who? What the fuck? Oh my god.
Yeah, so they called me a coward
Uh,
and all this shit for change. Like you need to watch my live stream where I told people that I was no longer flat Earth, because I was as honest as it gets, and you know me, and fucking to listen to some fucking idiots who I don't even really know calling me a coward for my decisions. Well, since
yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
oh yeah,
That's like.
oh yeah, and that was the thing. I was pretty clear on the fact that I probably was gonna hear some. negativity, some death threats.
I mean, I ain't gonna front. I think you a dickhead, but damn. I mean,
But it feels like a brother's calling me a dickhead when you say it. I feel like you're gonna be mad at me, but you still have to talk to me on holidays.
I mean, you're a grown ass man. What the hell I look like being mad at you because you decided to change your views up on shit that you know, I can't. How the fuck I can't be mad at you about no shit like that?
Shit, and it's so
That's
basically
crazy.
basically I said like it was. I made another video. Or I did a live stream calling them out. Hey, no, you don't know me, so don't talk shit. You guys sound
Oh, so
stupid. You guys are yes
now
men.
you beefing with the. Oh my god!
But see, that's the
Man,
thing.
every time I turn
It's the same
around,
beef. It's the same shit. I go over to Huey's fucking channel just to bullshit with him. Huey invites me over there. Fucking asshole still has me as a fucking an agent. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I'm
oh
not
my
gonna lie.
god!
I have noticed something since become Globe. I actually have been a little bit more angry lately.
Yeah, you fucking got a dick in your head. You
Damn,
gonna just fucking
how would you
go
say
back
it like
to a
that?
dang glue? Yeah, motherfucker, for real? Like serious?
I'm just saying, man. A lot more shit makes sense.
Hell no, you out your damn mind, boy. What's wrong with you?
Well, at the moment, I can't show
Like
you.
what?
I'm way too.
Like
Nope, nope.
like
See, I
what?
knew you were gonna
What
do that.
makes more sense?
No, no. We'll do this tomorrow when I'm not high and I'm not tired because I'm not pulling stuff off my computer now. I was asleep an hour
Man,
ago.
I'm shooting from my hip, same way I always been doing. I got my phone. I ain't even got no computer. I just don't. I just want to know what the hell.
Okay,
Like,
so this is there. If I had to think there, I'll give you two of the major issues I felt I had. Um, Basically, the Terminator line, which you said some stuff, so I am gonna look it up again and some alternative versions of it. But that's a big one to me. I still don't actually see how it could possibly work on a flat Earth. Um,
all right, pause right there for a second. I'm gonna ask you this real quick. Have you ever seen the video of the guy? He was on his fishing boat, and he pans to the left, and the sun's coming up over the horizon, and then he pans to the right, and you see the moon, and it's pitch fucking black.
yeah, the Alaska one, I think it's called.
Right.
Yeah,
Now, you do realize that that man is literally on the Terminator line.
yeah, but he was in an area where the Terminator line doesn't officially exist.
No. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you about the Terminator line. It's not this stark line that appears to be white on one side and black on the other. It doesn't work like that. It's a gradual change, a gradient of light from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, but it is equal to its proportion. So I mean, half of Earth is still either lit or not.
See, but this is what I was trying to get you to see though, that when that we'll call it phenomena is taking place, when that sun is coming up over the horizon, it's not lighting or it's not illuminating half of the earth. And if it were illuminating half of the earth, you would be able to see from your left, so where your left ear is located and where your right ear is located. The moment that that sun comes above that horizon, you should be able to see equal light from the left all the way to the right, 180 degrees across your vision.
I see what you're saying, and I'm gonna do that in a minute.
But you don't see that. You just see an arc of gradient light just above and around the sun. And the higher it comes up, the more the sky is illuminated. And that's a process of electromagnetism exciting the noble gases in the upper atmosphere. That's what that is, in my opinion.
Well, it'll definitely be looked up because I see exactly what you're saying. I said that earlier, but I gotta see it.
Yeah, so
It
it's,
that's what see, and that irritates me. Fucking
the,
something
the
that
sun
doesn't
brings
make
its light
sense,
with it.
but the way you're saying it and the way it works, it has something has to explain it at least, at the very least.
I mean, is
No, 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 yo,
Like, is that accurate when I say that the moment that sun comes
Yes,
fully?
that's what it's. When I'm thinking about
Oh,
it, it should. Yeah, we should see. Well, left and right. Yeah, because it's still no matter what, it's not only coming due west, due east. It's coming out of the
right.
northwest or south. Yeah. So yeah, we should.
Even if it's not a full 180 degrees, it should still be vastly more than what we see as far as a little, might be like a 60-mile arc of light from left to right, if that. It might not even be 20 miles. You know what I mean? And then the higher it gets in the sky or whatever, the more the sky becomes illuminated.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I definitely see what you're saying.
And then that light spreads out. But until like a certain elevation of that sun, it could be, that sun will be just slightly above the horizon or whatever, and it'll still be fucking pitch black over it. Like when I'm riding the bus in the morning, because I wake up at 4:30 every morning. I get in the bus, and then by like 7 o'clock, I can see to my left, virtually on my whole ride, the sun will be coming up, and you just see a little arch of light slowly coming up. Everything else is pitch fucking black, and then when that sun comes just above the horizon, and I know it's above the horizon, even though I can't really see it because the trees and shit block it. So the sun will be just above the horizon, and still everything to the back of my bus will be pitch fucking black.
And that's the thing. I don't think. I don't haven't observed it enough to even say. Damn, that kind of irritates me now. Fuck.
Yeah, just check
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
out. As that sun comes up, that light is kind of like in an arched format, and like I said, if that sun is truly illuminating half the planet at a time, even if you were on what you would consider to be the Terminator line, it's not no stark change. But in order for that Terminator line to exist, it still has to cross 180, approximately 180 degrees of your field of vision. The moment you can see that sun, there's no reason why it shouldn't cross 180 degrees of your field of view.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm gonna check it out for sure. But I'm tired, man. I'm starving and I'm hungry,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's
which is
cool because
tired
it's like
starving.
three. Yeah, it's like 3:30 in the morning. But yeah, man, I'm
Right.
glad. I'm glad I kind of got caught up to speed with you, brother. And I hope that motherfucking whatever's going on with you, with you and Sanchez and whoever else. I
No,
hope
no,
that
no.
shit blows
For
over.
the record, it's not with Bro Sanchez. It's his
Oh, it
panelists.
was just like,
It's his
okay,
yes men.
okay,
That's the issue.
got you, got
I'm
you.
gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably in the morning I'm gonna hit those guys up and see if they want to come on. It's kind of the weird part is they'll talk shit and then in the next paragraph go, "Hey man, I'll go on your panel, but it's got to be respectful." It's like, dude, we're in this position because you said some shit. So I'm gonna try to get them to come on in the morning. I'll hit you up before I do, if that happens, and I'll let you know that I'm going live.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all good. I mean, I don't give a
Oh no,
fuck,
I
but I
would.
ain't know you was live. It's all
I
good,
swear, I
bro.
thought you heard me say that. I was gonna show everyone else, but it
Yeah,
is
I
what it
know, but
is.
it's been a while, man. Whatever. I just didn't know. I mean, I don't give a fuck. It's all good.
Yeah, but my bad. Just so that you didn't know sucks. I would have hated
Yeah,
that shit.
whatever.
But
Nah, it's cool.
yeah, yeah.
All
Fucking,
right,
I'll hit you up tomorrow. Fucking, probably around your noonish, just to see what's up.
all right, brother, man.
All
No
right.
doubt.
Thanks. Hey.
Peace to everybody out in the chat too.
Yep, yep. And thank you for stopping by, man. It's been a minute. Good to see you again.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Like I
Even
said,
even under the wartime situation that we
Yeah, it's all right. All good. Yeah, it's all
because
good.
you do realize that those conversations from back in the day probably gonna end up happening again.
That's all right.
Oh yeah.
I'm always game.
Oh yeah. All right, sir. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm tired as fuck.
No doubt, brother, man.
All right, have a good one.
Take care, bro.
Yep.
Peace.
All right, people. That was actually a fun one. I enjoyed myself. Like to thank the fam. Thanks, Dre. Always welcome on the panel. definitely good to hear from him again. I haven't heard shit. I haven't talked to him in months. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get out of here. I'm tired. I'm loud, and neighbors are gonna start banging on walls and knocking on doors. So I will definitely be on tomorrow because there's a lot of information I wanted to get out that I didn't at all today. And at the same time, see if that debate's gonna go down. I mean, I sent them invites. They knew the stream was going on tonight, so they did have an opportunity to, stop on by and get this started. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's their fault. It wasn't planned, so I can't call them cowards. I can't do none of that. It's not their problem. It's not their fault. But tomorrow, if it doesn't go down, then I will start having some questions to whether or not they really do want to come get that work. So, like I was saying, guys, appreciate you guys being here. See you in the morning. Gonna go get some sleep. Peace.
But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.